What's up, guys? It is Arcade1Up. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about today, so we're going to skip the intro. If you are new, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like and share the video. But let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. So first off, we're going to talk about some Arcade1Up stuff. You might remember about a week or so ago, I believe it was, we talked about the Simpsons leak for Arcade1Up. Now, I have actually been giving some more subsequent information since then, and this is pretty much a lock in my opinion. I am 99.9% sure that that Simpsons stuff that we talked about last week is actually accurate. It's going to have Wi-Fi, the trackball built into it so that you can play Simpsons bowling on there as well. So this is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point, but there's been an email address that's been hitting me up about Arcade1Up Leaks, and shout outs to this dude because he just doesn't send me the leaks and pictures. He actually like writes a little something funny with it, and it makes me laugh every time. So we have a look at what is going to be coming out from E3 2021 from Arcade1Up, at least some of the stuff that I've been able to get my hands on. So the first thing is something kind of interesting, and I think a lot of people aren't going to like this, but I'm actually interested in one of them, and that's sort of an Arcade1Up Junior lineup of systems. Now, the first two look like they're going to be Pac-Man and Paw Patrol, which I don't know what Paw Patrol is. I think it's like Dog Cops or something like that, which, you know, whatever floats your boat. Obviously, these are designed with kids in mind, and when you look at the picture for the Pac-Man Arcade1Up Junior lineup, you can see it's definitely a lot smaller than we have seen with the standard Arcade1Up machines. But you know what? I kind of like this Pac-Man. Like, low-key, I kind of want this Pac-Man because I'm not the biggest Pac-Man fan in the world or anything like that. Like, I dig it, but I don't want to spend the money on a full Pac-Man Arcade1Up cabinet if this is going to be cheaper. And just judging by the looks of it, you know, it's obviously going to be like plastic instead of wood and things like that. I assume this is going to be a very cheap system. Like, this is something you could just like put in your bathroom when you're dropping a deuce or something. Like, just pull it up towards you and play a little arcade machine. So I think this is actually kind of interesting. You know, obviously they're trying to brand out and branch out, I should say, and, you know, get their brand out there more so and have some cheaper alternatives to the things that they are doing. I don't think the countercades were that big of a success, or the wallcades or anything like that. So this is an interesting way to do that. It also looks like there's going to be a revised Miss Pac-Man cabinet, but this time it'll have some additional features such as the little Wi-Fi symbol above it, as you can see here in this picture. So to me, that means that you're going to have online leaderboards with this. And once again, I think that's very cool because that's something that really adds extra incentive if you did not pick up the original release of Miss Pac-Man from Arcade1Up. Now, you kind of have a reason to if you like things like online leaderboards. Once again, I'm not the biggest Pac-Man fan in the world. I do enjoy Miss Pac-Man. I loved playing it on the Sega Genesis, so this will probably be a skip for me as well. But if you are a Miss Pac-Man fan, this will obviously be probably the better of the two systems. It'll probably have some better parts in it as well, and that additional Wi-Fi will definitely extend the replay value. But one of the bigger titles is something that completely misses with me just because of the timeline of things, but that is Tron. It looks like Tron will be coming out on the Arcade1Up lineup of systems this year. I'm expecting an E3 announcement from this, and once again, I don't care about Tron. Like, give me the Killer Instinct, give me the X-Men, give me the Simpsons. The 90s stuff is what I know from the arcades. Tron was definitely before my time, much like things like the Star Wars arcade stuff. I wanted the Star Wars Sega arcade trilogy, not the one that came out, you know, in the 70s or 80s or whenever it came out for the Atari with those, you know, vector style graphics and things like that. But there are a ton of people that have nostalgia for Tron, and Tron is obviously a pretty big license because it's a Disney license, so that's kind of interesting as well. But it looks like Tron will be one of the big announcements at E3 2021 from Arcade1Up. So as you can see, you know, they're sort of branching out a bit more with things like the junior cabinets, of course, the revised Miss Pac-Man. I think there's another Street Fighter coming out as well. I've seen some other stuff, but, you know, I'm not really comfortable talking about it quite yet, but it'll be interesting to see if there's anything else. You know, I want the light gun games, I want the mid-90s Sega stuff. Like, that's the stuff I'm hoping for. But if you are a fan of stuff like Tron and Paw Patrol, I guess you're very excited. Sticking with retro stuff, we got a big announcement yesterday that made me very excited because I have been wanting this for a very long time. You can look on Twitter and you can find the receipts very easily if you type this in. But the Double Dragon franchise is a franchise that I definitely really enjoy. But I always felt like there was two groups of Double Dragon people who knew that the arcade version existed and people who didn't, who just played it on the NES. And I was definitely of the NES mindset because that's where I learned about Double Dragon. Like, the first first time I played Double Dragon Arcade, I was kind of like, I don't like this as much as the NES version. The music is, you know, kind of slower and the graphics are weird. I want to play the NES version. So I obviously have a lot of nostalgia for that. Well, Double Dragon 4 is a game that nobody likes. I believe Top Hat Gaming Man just made a video burying Double Dragon 4 like yesterday or the day before. And you know what? That's cool. I'm the only person in the world who likes Double Dragon 4. And I've wanted a physical version on the Nintendo Switch since this was released. Well, guess what? Limited Run Games came out and said the following. Slight language warning.
Oh! Double the fuck dragon pussy! Yeah!
And they are giving me Double Dragon 4, a physical version on the Nintendo Switch. Pre-orders go up next Friday for this, and yes, you know what? It's not a great game or anything like that, but, you know, don't compare it to something like Streets of Rage 4, which was, you know, an extension of the Streets of Rage franchise and came out at $30 when it came out digitally, or $40 physically. This game came out at like 10 bucks or less when it initially launched, and I had a bunch of fun with it. The music is good, the sprites are ripped right out of NES style graphics, there's tons of unlockable stuff in the game as well. It's not a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's like what Double Dragon 4 would have been had it come out on the NES. There's a collector's edition as well, and honestly, I'm just gonna get the standard one. I don't really like the look of the collector's edition. It's kind of too orangey for me. I don't know, it's kind of gaudy on the eyes, I feel. But the standard edition, I will be buying. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what about Double Dragon Neon? You know, Double Dragon Neon, that's the game I like. Well, guess what, Buster? They're also doing Double Dragon Neon on the Nintendo Switch physically as well, with pre-orders going up next week. Once again, there will be a collector's edition as well alongside of the standard edition, and this is very cool. You know, Double Dragon is a franchise that people just forget about. I have so many stories of Double Dragon. The first time I played Double Dragon over at my buddy Joe's house, and he was like, yo, you ever played Double Dragon? And I was like, nah, man, what's that? And then he busted it out on the NES, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. The time I went to Microplay with my buddy Michael when we were like 13, and there was this stupid sniveling guy that worked there named Wayne, who had like glasses and like a balding ponytail, kind of like, you know, like a Hulk Hogan thing, and he was like 5 foot tall, he weighed like 20 pounds, and we were talking about Double Dragon. He was like, Double Dragon? You've never beat Double Dragon? Everyone's beaten Double Dragon. I was like, who, you're like 40 something years old, looking like a little sniveling weasel, harassing kids because they haven't beat Double Dragon. Like, get out of here, you weirdo. I hate Wayne. But of course, I have beaten Double Dragon since then, so kiss my ass, Wayne. Double Dragon 4 and Double Dragon Neon are coming to your Nintendo Switch next week from Limited Run Games. They have the open pre-order system, so you don't have to wake up early, and I'm very, very excited. And finally, we have some new Nintendo Switch games that were recently announced to talk about. Some of them look good, some of them look like ass, but hey, we're going to talk about them because I kind of want to make fun of two of them. The first game we're going to talk about is Peppa Pig is coming to the Nintendo Switch. What has children's programming become? What is this Peppa Pig nonsense? Like, I don't have kids or anything like that. I don't know anything about this world of Peppa Pig. I'm assuming he's very popular because, I don't know, but like, I watch like Sesame Street. I watch, you know, stuff like, you know, Mr. Rogers when I was growing up and stuff like that. Like, what is this? Like, this looks mind-numbingly stupid, but obviously kids dig it, so if kids like something, they're gonna make a video game about it. So yes, a Peppa Pig game is coming to the Nintendo Switch. If you're excited for it, I am glad for you. Me personally, I could care less. Now, the next game was actually something I was kind of interested in, and that is Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. Now, on the surface, I love the Addams Family. I love the original TV show. I love the two movies that came out in the 90s. Just excellent stuff. Raul Julia, R.I.P. Amazing actor, just so good in that role as Gomez Addams. Swing low, sweet chariot. Like, whenever I get sick, like, that's what I'd send to like people and like act like I'm dying. Like, that's such a good movie. But the Addams Family games have never really been all that good. We got some on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, just, you know, not really good stuff. But this game looks straight out of like the PS2 Wii era of shovelware. Like, this looks horrible, and I know that the graphical style of the game is based on the newer Addams Family movie. Whatever, that's fine. I'm just talking about from a gameplay perspective. This looks horrible. Like, this, I don't understand this. It's like, is Addams Family really that popular? Maybe they're trying to bank on the movie. Maybe the movie was very successful that just came out recently. Like I said, I haven't seen it because I just didn't really like the animation style, and, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's weird to me because you remember when like goth kids were like the weirdos, and now they're like the the popular kids. Like, you gotta think, like, these chicks that were, you know, goth kids, like when I was in high school and middle school and stuff like that, they gotta be kicking themselves in the ass. Like, you totally missed your point of being like the popular kid because now the goth thing is in. So maybe they're trying to catapult on that as well. I don't know. This game just does not look very good, and yeah, it'll be coming out on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the next game is actually a somewhat interesting game. It got mediocre reviews, but I might end up checking it out on the Nintendo Switch, and that is the Falconeer Warrior Edition. Now, the Falconeer actually came out right alongside of the launch of the Xbox Series X and S. It was included in Game Pass, and it was also available on Steam. Well, now this game will be coming out to the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch on August 5th. And what I find interesting is they actually managed to get 60 frames per second out of this game, even in handheld mode for the Nintendo Switch version. Now, the PlayStation 5 version will include things like haptic feedback, if you enjoy that sort of stuff. It's going to have the upcoming expansion called Edge of the World included in this as well. All of the free and paid DLC will be available in this version as well. You know, I've heard decent things about this game, sort of mixed things. Like I said, it did get mixed reviews, but some people seem to really enjoy it. I don't know, maybe I'll end up checking it out on August 5th, just kind of depends on what else is coming out in the month of August, but definitely interesting to see a Xbox exclusive game once again, just sort of a timed exclusive end up on other platforms. But the last game is probably the game that most people are excited for, and that is Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom Prince Edition has been confirmed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch on September 17th, and this game just looks so good. Like, I love the visual style of the Ni no Kuni games, and I think this just looks so good. Like, looking at the game running in handheld mode in this video, it just looks amazing. Obviously, I am going to have to chop this up because it is a Bandai Namco trailer, and no, you can't use our trailers to talk about our games. How dare you make people excited for this? But obviously, this game was very, very well received on other platforms. A lot of people were wondering, why didn't it come to the Nintendo Switch alongside of the other platforms? The original Ni no Kuni did end up coming to the Nintendo Switch, and now you'll be able to play the sequel. The sequel does include DLC from the first version of the game in this Prince Edition as well, so you're getting a complete package with this, and I think it looks very, very impressive. I probably will pick this up. I probably won't review it because this is the kind of game that I'll just play for like an hour or two, and then a couple days later come back to it. There's no way I'm gonna grind through the whole thing, but I definitely like this style of RPG. I love the visual style of it, and I think it's going to be a big hit on the Nintendo Switch. It might actually end up selling better on the Nintendo Switch than it did on the PlayStation 4, which I wouldn't be super surprised about because the system is just a real big RPG system. So yes, we got some new Nintendo Switch games, and some of them look like crap and some of them look cool. Alrighty, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. These Arcade1Up machines, are they hitting for you? Or are you kind of like me and you're like, nah? Double Dragon is back, and that just, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. And these new Switch games, are you picking up Peppa Pig? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.